You're contracted to do 3 fights a year, and I think he's worked himself into a position where he should fight for a belt. And for me, if the guy doesn't want to fight for the belt,
Jon Jones wants 6 months. He wants 6 months to prepare for Aspinall.
Jon Jones said publicly it would take $30 million, right? Now he's saying money talks, but time. I need time.
I don't see that as, to me, I look at that and I say, Jon doesn't really need that much time.
Jon Jones is an absolute embarrassment to MMA. He is a disgrace. He should be not only stripped of the world championship for this move, but should be stripped of GOAT status and should be eradicated from the histories of MMA.
Tom Aspinall's father, Andy Aspinall, has slammed Jon Jones for not defending his title against his son. During a recent interview, Andy Aspinall didn't mince words when he was asked to share his thoughts about the ongoing delays for the Aspinall versus Jones fight. Andy said that a champion has to defend his belt thrice, but he is surprised to see that Jones is not ready to do it even once.
Tom, yourself, everyone in the camp, in Tom's team, sick of talking about Jon Jones because it's frustrating. You know as much as, I mean, you know more than I do, but you're left in the dark, aren't you? You being felt like you're left in the dark at the moment. Tom just wants to compete. An unactive fighter, I'm guessing, is not the happiest fighter. Where are all your heads at right now with it?
You're contracted to do 3 fights a year, and I think he's worked himself into a position where he should fight for a belt.
Andy Aspinall further showed his frustration about the delay and ordered the heavyweight champion to leave his belt if he didn't want to defend it. Andy further added that Jon Jones is not a dream fighter for them, and the only reason Aspinall wants to fight him is because of the heavyweight title. Apart from the belt, Andy sees Jon Jones like any other normal opponent.
And for me, if the guy doesn't want to fight for the belt, vacate it, and he's not bothered about Jon Jones. The talk last year, the Jon Jones thing that we did was just to try and get him to take the fight, to have the fight. Tom's not bothered with fights. Jon Jones is just another body in the gym, another bum in the shower, they say, don't they? It just is. He just wants to compete. He's a competitor.
Yeah.
And as a coach, you want him competing when he's fit. You don't want him sitting around in the gym. You don't know whether they're ready or not. You don't know what level they're going to be at. I just want him to compete.
Andy is hopeful to get the fight confirmed, and he doesn't have any idea why they are getting so much delay. Aspinall's father said they are ready to fight anytime, and the delay is from Jon Jones' side.
Hopefully they'll sort something out. I don't know what's holding it up. We've not been told. Jon Jones I don't know what Jon Jones has said. I don't know what he's done. We've had nothing yet.
Andy also shared his thoughts about how he feels about his son being the top contender for fighting in possibly the biggest fight of UFC history. Andy feels proud of his son, but he believes that this is not the biggest fight for them. He said that this is just another normal fight for them and that they will look to conquer it. Andy Aspinall said, "Honestly, to me it's just another contest that he's going to have. Just makes no difference to my outlook, and I don't think it does to him. It never seems to on fight date. It's just another contest, and we want more and more and more contests. That's what he does to earn a living. That's how he provides for his family, He just wants to get out there and compete." The reason for the delay in this fight is still not known, but the MMA community thinks Jon Jones's demand of $30 million might be a reason. Jon Jones demanded $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall. The former UFC champion Demetrius Johnson said that if UFC wants to make this fight happen, then they should pay whatever Jon Jones is demanding. According to Mighty Mouse, UFC earns a lot of money and they should pay this amount to Jon Jones. Demetrius Johnson said they want Tom Aspinall to fight Jones. John says, "I would like $30 million. Can you guys pay me? Yes or no?" No, Jon Jones, we can't pay you. The UFC made $1.4 billion in 2024, and this man is asking for $30 million. Pay the man $30 million and call it good. Meanwhile, according to some inside news, the heavyweight champion Jon Jones has demanded 6 months to train for the Tom Aspinall fight. This news is not directly said by Jon Jones, rather it was leaked by Ariel Helwani. He said that this fight might happen in September this summer. Ariel Helwani said, "Well, the clock is ticking on a summer showdown because I was told that Jon wants 6 months to prepare once the fight is locked in. And what's 6 months from now? September? Now I'm sure money talks, but it feels like the summer, if that is the goal, is starting to slip away a little." Ariel Helwani is a well-known journalist and he has confirmed his claims. He stated that the heavyweight champion wants half a year to train once the fight is officially locked in. The timing issue has sparked criticism from most of the fans and analysts. They questioned why Jon Jones needs such an extensive training period when he has already been out of action for over a year.
I saw that a couple of sites, I think it was Happy Punch and another, ran with the 6-month thing that I said yesterday. No, they ran with it yesterday and I said it last week, more than a week ago. I don't know how that came up. Listen, I tell you guys what I know, and we all know that they want to make the fight. We all know that Aspinall is in. And I don't need to be some kind of insider to tell you this. He has said it himself. We all know that he's meeting with the brass this week in London. We know that Jon Jones is in at a certain price. We believe that price is in the vicinity of 30 million.
Furthermore, Tom Aspinall is also hopeful that the UFC would speed up things and make this fight happen. Aspinall is waiting for the confirmation of the date and venue of this fight so that he can start his preparation to get a shot at the heavyweight belt. Tom Aspinall said, "Jon, there's only one thing to do, mate. Sign the contract and let's get a date going. We've seen last night Dana White was talking. Everything is now done on Jon's side and the UFC now have to find a date and a venue, a place, location. So, we're waiting for that. We've got some good news coming soon, hopefully." On the other hand, the UFC Hall of Famer Michael Bisping reacted to that demand of Jon Jones and said it is quite strange that Jon Jones wants 6 months for a training camp at this age. According to Bisping, Jon Jones is already 37 and he is surprised that he wants such a long time period to train for a fight.
We know that Tom Aspinall's wanted it for quite some time. Jon Jones hasn't come out and flatly denied it, even though he did say that Tom kind of annoys him and he bothers him and he's a little bit immature, right? This fight needs to happen, and if he's saying that he wants 6 months, then I don't quite get it. I don't quite understand. Why do you need 6 months? Jon Jones is 37 years old. If we take this at face value, 37 years old. He's coming maybe towards the end of his career. Now as heavyweights, you can go on as long as 45, 46.
Michael Bisping shared what Jon Jones might be planning for his future after ending his incredible UFC career. According to the former champion, Jon Jones should end his career on a high note, but demanding 6 months to train for a fight is not understandable.
I think it was 46 when he came back out of retirement and reclaimed the heavyweight strap against Tim Sylvia. But Jon Jones doesn't want to do that. He wants to go off and do other things with his life. He wants to go off and become an actor, and he wants to have maybe a couple more fights and then go off into the sunshine on the back of an absolutely glittering career. Unbelievable stuff, but he's got to fight Tom Aspinall. That's just a fact. And if he wants 6 months, I don't understand that, because training camps don't take 6 months.
Michael Bisping rejected Jon Jones' idea of getting a 6 months training camp and said the ideal time to prepare for any big fight is 2 months. He thinks Jon Jones is not too out of shape and he would be ready to fight even after 30 days of training.
Typically, a training camp is 2 months long, or sometimes people do a pre-camp. Now, a pre-camp usually is when a fighter's let themselves get really out of shape.
Boy, are you fat. What'd you say?
So they do like a 4-week pre-camp to shed a few pounds, to get back in the gym, to get moving again, blow the rust off and feeling good, and then they start camp. 6 months is a very long time. Half a year. You don't need 6 months, okay? There's not a lot going to change.
Michael Bisping also explained that training for 6 months will give more setbacks than benefits. According to Bisping, pushing hard in the training camp might result in an injury to the heavyweight champion. The former champion believes Jon Jones shouldn't try hard and end his training camp within 2 months.
So 6 months, that is just massively overtraining. And also, if you're going to be training hard for 6 months, if you're trying to come up with a game plan, if you're bringing in big, strong, aggressive, hard-hitting training partners that are true heavyweights, there's a real chance that you're going to get injured if you're pushing yourself that hard for that long. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a training camp for 6 months like we typically might do over 2 months, that just wouldn't be sustainable, okay? You will get injured, you will get broken down, you will overtrain. But he wants 6 months to strategize, to bring in training partners, maybe to work on heel hooks.
The former UFC champion and Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier also spoke about Jon Jones demanding 6 months to train for the Aspinall fight. Cormier was also surprised to know why the heavyweight champion wanted such a long time to prepare for this fight. His guest Ben Askren initially thought Jon only wanted money, but he was also surprised to know that Jon Jones was asking for half a year for just training.
Jon Jones said publicly it would take $30 million, right? Now he's saying money talks, but time, I need time.
I don't see that as, to me, I look at that and I say, Jon doesn't really need that much time. John's asking for more money. He's saying, if you want to rush me, he said, I prefer 6 months. I would prefer that.
No. Jon literally said, I'll read it to you.
Read it to me exactly.
I'll read it to you exactly. It said, Jon Jones wants 6 months to prepare for Tom Aspinall fight once it's locked in. Money talks, but it feels like if summer is the goal, it's starting to slip away a bit.
Daniel Cormier also rejected Jon Jones's demands to get $30 million for this fight. He even believes Jon shouldn't get $15 million for this fight. According to Cormier, only Daniel Cormier can demand such an amount as his fight promises to pay back double the amount to the UFC.
Do you think that Jon Jones is worth paying $15 million?
I would have to know the exact metrics. I would probably say no, and I would go back to my argument.
Only Conor, right? Only Conor would be worth paying $15 million.
I don't even know. I mean, like, I don't.
Conor had a $22 million gate whenever he pulled out of that fight with Michael Chandler on the pre-sale.
Yes. Well, so there's obviously the gates, but I think what UFC is, their work, like you said, the TV deal is going to be much more lucrative than the.
Can you imagine?
Gates. Well, so I think they're saying is like they're probably going to a Netflix, or right, because that's the big rumor, is like how many subscribers can we bring you, right? And so they're looking at like a total of how many unique people watch a UFC event through the course of a whole year, which is all 40 events, you know?
Daniel Cormier said that the UFC 313 result gave a big hit to Jon Jones' plans. The heavyweight champion was avoiding this fight by saying he wants Alex Pereira as his opponent. However, after Potan's defeat, Jon Jones is left with no choice except to fight Aspinall. According to the former UFC double champion, Aspinall should have enjoyed Pereira's defeat because it saved his title shot chances. Daniel Cormier said, do you think that he's just kind of steering into this whole he just doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall thing, because Tom Aspinall was celebrating after Pereira lost because he felt like Jon Jones could not use Pereira anymore as a crutch to try to make that fight. The UFC legend further said that Jon Jones likes to play with the mind of his opponent. He feels the heavyweight champion is just confusing the fans, and Aspinall that he is afraid to fight Tom. According to Cormier, Jon Jones never gets afraid of his opponents, and he will fight Aspinall very soon.
I feel like Jon likes to play into people going, he's afraid of Tom Aspinall. He doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. When you and I have discussed this many, many times, he's not afraid of Tom Aspinall. He'll fight Tom Aspinall. You believe?
I said he would much prefer to fight someone else. That was my take last time. Like, don't you remember how mad I was that? I like Stipe, so it drove me crazy that I had to. Stipe hadn't fought in like 4 years.
Yeah, it was over, bro. That was bad.
That was crazy.
So bad. He got beat bad.
Oh man, I really wanted to fight Tom Aspinall on that one.
Yeah, that's. I think it's important. I think he's messing around with people, man, and I think it's fun for this dude because this dude's made a lot of money. And he's been the champion for so long that he really doesn't need to fight anybody.
Furthermore, the former UFC champion Chael Sonnen had a very interesting take on Jon Jones's demands to get 6 months to prepare for the Tom Aspinall fight. Sonnen couldn't stop laughing after hearing this news.
Jon Jones would like 6 months to prepare to fight Tom Aspinall. This is reported by Ariel Helwani. And I read it. My partner Ryan will tell you, he watched me read it. He knows I tried.
Sonnen said that he read that news and he was shocked to hear that one of the best heavyweight champions of all time wants almost half a year to prepare for a fight. After Ariel Helwani reported this news, Sonnen mocked the heavyweight champion with his continuous sarcastic laugh.
I mean, I gave this like a good faith effort, and I never quite was able to connect the dots of, did John say it on Ariel's show, or was Ariel speaking on his own show on behalf of John? I actually couldn't quite tie those together. But does it matter? He wants 6 months. He can have them. He can have them. How would I control it? How would anybody control it?
Chael Sonnen said that the Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight has been the talk of the town for the past 4 to 5 months. They were supposed to fight last year, and the former UFC champion questioned Jon Jones' approach for this fight. According to Sonnen, Jones had 4 months to train because he knew he would have to fight Aspinall sooner or later. So Sonnen thinks Jon Jones' demand to get an extra 6 months is inappropriate now.
Evidence of the fact that John has the undisputed belt and that Tom has the interim belt, we all understand that these guys are going to fight. Now that we have that evidence, we have had November to December, December to January, January to February, February to March. We've got 4 months. Now, we can't make him train. I don't know if he was training, but he was not prohibited from said training.
Chael Sonnen further elaborated his concerns about Jon Jones' lack of training after his last fight against Miocic at UFC 309. He said when Jon Jones was aware that his fight with Aspinall was always on the cards, then why did he waste almost 4.5 months? He also questioned his demand to get 6 months for training. Sonnen said we still don't know when the 6 months would start, as right now the fight is still not confirmed. Chael Sonnen stated, "For heaven's sake, did he take the whole time off? It's been 4.5 months since that fight. Did he not train? Train with Aspinall in mind? Did he not full well know the undisputed champion was gonna take on the interim champion? What do you mean 6 months? 6 months from when?" Sonnen said Jon Jones might be asking for 6 months from now, and the countdown has already begun. The former UFC champion thinks that being a champion Jon Jones should have trained daily. Sonnen gave his own example that he would have never thought about becoming a champion without regular training. Chael Sonnen added, "You mean from right now, don't you? Anything I'm saying apart from 6 months from now is silly. That's very interesting to me. I never had that level of success. When I dreamed about being good, it never even crossed my mind in my dreams to be a world champion that doesn't practice." The popular YouTuber MMA Guru also expressed his thoughts about Jon Jones' wish to get 6 months to train for his title defense against Tom Aspinall. He was disappointed to know that the MMA fans won't be able to witness this fight in the upcoming fight cards and now have to wait more to witness their highly anticipated encounter.
So Jon Jones has come out and said that he needs 6 months of preparation to fight Aspinall once it's locked in, which means we are not going to get this fight on International Fight Week. We aren't going to get it in June, July, or August. The earliest that we are going to get this fight, and that's if it is signed over the next week, is in September. If this takes a few weeks to get done, we aren't going to see this fight until October.
MMA Guru was not impressed with Jon Jones' statement at all, and he brutally roasted the heavyweight champion. The famous YouTuber slammed Jon Jones for making such excuses to avoid his fight. MMA Guru was in no mood to stop, as he also put UFC officials under his radar. According to him, the UFC should have taken strict actions to avoid such irresponsible behavior from the fighters. He called Jon Jones an embarrassment to the sport and asked the UFC to terminate his contract to teach him a lesson.
Jon Jones is an absolute embarrassment to MMA. He is a disgrace. He should be not only stripped of the World Championship for this move, but should be stripped of GOAT status and should be eradicated from the histories of MMA. I really don't mind. We have never seen someone make a mockery of the sport step by step throughout their career like Jon Jones has. And not only that, we have never seen a promotion just so pathetic to allow it to happen and just let Jon Jones walk all over them and their product, making the sport an absolute joke.
Jon Jones has definitely made all the UFC pros angry, and no one liked his statement. So, the question is, will Jon Jones fight Tom Aspinall early, or will take a stand for his own statement and get that 6 months time? Well, this is a decision that UFC will make, but we would love to hear your thoughts about this demand from Jon Jones. Do let us know in the comments section, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more interesting updates. Don't forget to press the bell icon to get instant notification about our latest videos.